Hey, good morning, class, the receiving school students and teachers.
Good morning, Mrs. Watangas.
How are you all this morning?
We are very well, thank you. And how are you this morning?
Very well, just like your thank you. Now, once again, as students in the receiving school and your teachers, we are in the cookery house that belongs to Jobet in Papua New Guinea Institute of Education. And if you look, you will see that we have another picture with us. You have seen before in one of our lessons, actually the lesson we had beginning of this term. We have a back with us, Mrs. Kageni is with us. She will come in later in the lesson. I will just go through what I have to, and she will take over from me with what we have to do, what we have to learn for this lesson. Now, a previous lesson we did cooking, and that cooking was based on moist heat methods or moist heat cooking. And we used one of the cooking methods for doing the practical in the previous lesson. Now, if I can have William to tell us briefly what we actually did in the previous lesson. The moist heat method we used for the cooking we did.
Stewing.
Stewing, thank you. You can tell us what we actually did.
Chicken stew.
Chicken stew, thank you. So we actually did chicken stew, and stewing is one of the moist heat methods. Alvin, if you can tell us what moist heat methods or what the moist heat methods of cooking.
For that, we boil it.
You can come
Cooking with small amount of it.
Who would like to help Alvin with answer for that question? Thank you, Edward. We have Edward there. He'll give us the answer. He will help Alvin with the answer.
Cooking with more or little water.
Very good. Cooking with more or some or little water, not no water at all. So moist heat method of cooking are methods that use a lot of water, some water or little water in them. And that is one of the methods, actually it's one of the cooking methods used in that method, moist heat. We've done that in the previous lesson. And today our lesson is going to be on table setting. Now, for our students in the receiving schools, you may not, every day you may not be actually setting tables for your breakfast. However, this is a part of knowledge, education that you have to gain. And so I hope what we have to go through in this lesson, you will learn something from it. And probably when you have visitors from outside coming to your village or maybe to your home, you well know what to do when you come to table setting for breakfast. Now, our activity actually is going to be table setting for breakfast. Can someone tell me what breakfast is? Breakfast, you know it well, yes.
Food that we normally eat in the morning.
Food that you normally eat in the morning, good. Now you will learn more about the three main meals, what each of those meals are, and how important each of those meals are from our guest teacher this morning. Now our key phrase for this lesson is going to be table setting, and our next lesson activity is going to be on cooking own recipes. Now, students in the receiving schools, you have together with your teachers, with the help of your teachers, you have formulated cookery books, while your friends here have also done the same. From that cookery book, you have to decide whose recipe you can use. If there are 5 of you in the group, you decide one of you or whoever whose recipe that you need to cook, you Now, what you have to do, you have to have a paper where you have your ingredients written and your method, how you are going to cook that recipe. So all your friends in the group will know the ingredients that you will need and also the methods in cooking that recipe. So with the ingredients and equipment, it depends on the type of recipe that you are going to cook, and also the equipment also depends on that as well. And with that, I'd like to welcome Mrs. Kageni, who is going to be our guest speaker for this lesson. Mrs. Kageni, please.
Good morning, class, students from the receiving schools and teachers.
Good morning, Mrs. Kageni.
How are you all this morning?
We are very well, thank you. And how are you this morning?
Alright, this morning it's good once again to be with you in class. As this is what Langa said, mentioned earlier, our main aim or the outcome we should be looking forward to achieving by the end of this lesson is to ensure that we've set a table for breakfast. Before we come to the table setting, I would like us to go back and look at the three main meals we normally eat in a day. Alright, can anyone in class tell me what the three main meals are? Violet?
Breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
So, three main meals are, the first one is
Breakfast.
breakfast followed by lunch and dinner. Our friend earlier on said what breakfast was. Breakfast is normally eaten in the morning. Breakfast is normally eaten in the morning. Alright. I would like us to go back again to looking at the three main meals. And I would like you to compare the kinds of food that is eaten during breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Which meal do you think is the lightest? Lighter compared, or lighter in these three different meals here? Yes?
Breakfast.
Your friend has said breakfast? I would like someone else to give me another answer again, please. Yes?
Lunch.
Lunch.
Alright, we now have two different answers here. We have lunch and breakfast. Alright, my friend, you can continue. Can you tell me why you said lunch was much more lighter compared to breakfast? Why is lunch lighter? I'll go by you. You are correct. You are correct with the answer you have given. Lunch is lighter compared to breakfast. But can you tell me why? She's taken. Can someone help it? I'm afraid at the corner, yes? No, you in the front.
Because the breakfast already we had already we had the breakfast already, but the lunch is gonna it's gonna just hold us until dinner.
Lunch will hold us.
Yeah. So not that.
Alright, I'll ask you another one question. We've eaten breakfast already. Okay, you look at the locations where these meals were eaten. Where was breakfast eaten?
In the morning.
In the morning where?
At the house.
At our homes. Lunch is normally eaten in our schools. Therefore, we would like to prepare something that is lighter and bring that to school. Okay, good. So that's what I wanted. Good. Thank you. Alright, so looking at the trees here, we'll find lunch is lighter compared to breakfast. All right, we'll go back to breakfast again. All right, the word breakfast here is made up of two main words. Two words, and they are break and fast. What is fasting? What means to fast? What happens when a person is fasting? Mercy, you have any answer? What happens when a person is fasting?
He has to wait till the food is ready.
Yes, sir.
He has to wait till the food is ready.
He has to wait, he or she has to wait till food is ready. Alright, look at breakfast. When is breakfast eaten? Breakfast is eaten before which meal? Oh, sorry, let me rephrase. Breakfast is eaten after which meal? Dinner. Alright, so after dinner, breakfast is eaten. So dinner is eaten in the afternoon, evening, then we go off to sleep. So how many hours do we sleep? About 8 hours. So while we are sleeping, we don't eat any food. Is that clear? Yes. So when we wake up in the morning, we are supposed to break that fast. That period from dinner to breakfast. So that is where the word comes from. Breaking the fast between dinner and this meal here. Alright, so that's breakfast. Alright, so it's eaten in the morning. Lunch is eaten in the middle of the day. It's a midday meal. And it's lighter. So we can have that at home or even in the schools we come to. Then dinner is eaten in the afternoon. Alright. Now we've done this, I would like us to look at the importance of eating the different kinds of meals. Why is breakfast important? Why should we eat breakfast? Why must breakfast be eaten? I've written the word must here in underline.
To start up the energy for the day.
To start up the
Energy for the day.
to start up the energy. Why do we need the energy?
To play.
Energy for
To do school work.
To keep us working and do our jobs.
Alright, it should keep us working, yes? So we need the energy for work and
Play.
alright, energy for work and
To satisfy our hunger.
alright, good girl, yes, that's correct. To satisfy our hunger. To satisfy hunger. There are two more important things I'm looking for. If we've eaten breakfast, it's going to prevent us from getting into or getting involved in. Is it cup? Did I mention it before? Around. You said something I saw your lips move and I think you mentioned it before.
It's 120.
Having breakfast will prevent us from getting involved in a word beginning with the letter A.
I'm not sure.
Someone will?
Accidents.
Alright, prevent us from getting involved in football. Yes, you're correct. posting excellence. And we should be, what do we need? What do we need? No, not diet. Something else. So we can think well, we can think well. So let's say what
Think well.
we are mentally alert. Alright. Alright, maybe you can help me. If we're not going to have breakfast, and we aren't mentally alert in class, what do you think we would do? Most students would do? They would feel sleepy. So learning doesn't take place. You will find you are wasting time in class. Alright. That is why breakfast is important. Alright, I have prepared handouts here. I thought we would be in the bathroom, but I got only 8. Alright, we can now put our handouts away and maybe all get around so you can into our table setting for breakfast. Alright, the first thing we do is to always ensure our tabletops are clean. Yes. Then you will find the next thing to place, or let's say the first thing to place on the table would be a tablecloth. For this morning, today, we have tablecloth that is made out of plastic. Right, we have that. Someone can help you. So we have a plastic tablecloth that is set, which is the first thing. Then we're going to look at the number of covers. There's a word here. The number of covers. Covers or cover means the cutlery, utensils that will be placed for an individual person. The word cover refers to it. C-O-V-E-R. Okay, today, on your handout you can see I have the diagram there showing you how a table should be set. Alright, the first thing we should have on our table. Alright, your diagrams indicate a dinner plate. Is that correct? Yes, the dinner plate is a plate that is much more bigger compared to the rest. Right. Everything that comes in ceramic animal like this is referred to as silverware. Silverware. Right. So in front of the person whom you're going to be setting the table for, you have a dinner plate. I know it's breakfast, but we have dinner plate. Do you know why we have a dinner plate? Anyone know? Okay, maybe we can go on. And at some table, setting the table, you should know why we have the dinner plate. Alright, so we have dinner plate. Can you see how far it is away from the table? Alright. Every time you set, especially the main plate, should be about 2.5 centimeters away from the edge of the table. Not too far because you will be leaning over to it and then you will be feeling uncomfortable. Not too close because you will knock it over. It should be about 2.5 centimeters. Alright, during a breakfast meal, what would we start off with? Normally in our household we don't do that. But sometimes, maybe if we have some money to spend around, we could buy this ingredient here. It comes in boxes. Cereal. Can you tell what I can put in this bowl here? A cereal. Maybe cornflakes. Huh? So we can set a dinner plate there, and the cereal plate can come out. Cereal bowl can come at the top. Do you know why it's put at the top? Yes? Because... Yes, anyone? Yes?
So it won't spill. So it won't spill on the tablecloth.
Say that again.
So it won't spill on the table.
All right. Yes, maybe it's not going to spill. But I'm going to come to the dinner plate later. So if I'm going to place it that way, then that means the cereal is going to be eaten before the food that is going to be served on the dinner plate. After our cereals are eaten, then the plate is put on. But for a moment, I can leave it there. So I can serve my cornflakes in there. Then that is followed by any questions? Then we have a dinner knife. Dinner knife, we could use this as a butter knife if you want. Butter knife. This is always placed on your right hand side with the blade facing towards the plate. Place that way. Okay. Then maybe a spoon we can use for making a tea. So we can call it teaspoon. Yeah, teaspoon comes there. Later on I'm going to explain why we place things like this, alright? So we have a teaspoon. Then we have a forks. Placed on the what side is it? The left hand side. Let's imagine this is the dinner fork. Dinner knife, dinner fork. And that is placed closer to the plate. Then we have it depends. If you're going to be having salad, then that is placed outside. Or maybe our salad fork can be smaller. Our dinner fork is bigger. Alright, so that's how it sits. Alright, so all your forks on the left hand side, and your knife, and your teaspoon on the right hand side.
And spoon.
The next thing that we are supposed to place is the little plate. You can find this plate here, looks flatter. Okay. For today, we can refer to this as the bread plate. The bread plate here should be placed directly above the forks. Okay, directly above the forks. Then we have another bowl. Yeah, which we could refer to as the salad bowl. Salad bowl. We're going to have some salad towards the end. So that comes on that side. Okay. Then we have on further away from the spoon, we have what's this plate with it? Here's something, yes. What do you call this? A saucer plate. What do I place on the saucer plate? A saucer cup. Okay, so you can see this groove here. I have my saucer cup. Place it in there so it doesn't move. Alright, and finally we have our after I've eaten and I've gotten dirty and all of that, I would want to clean my hands. So what do I use? Not a tea towel. The tea towel is used for drying wet places. A serviette, or sometimes we would refer to this paper as a napkin. Alright, so you can have paper napkins and napkins made out of an A4 paper, pretending it's a serviette. Okay. Now you can fold your serviettes in different styles. Today I decided to have it that way. And you can see the opening. I'll place it away from the plate, and that should be placed beside the fork. So wherever I sit, let's pretend I'm going to sit. I can just put my hand here, and you always open the serviette that way. So it's easy to open, and you can place that on your. Or you can wipe your hands with it. Yeah. All right. So you're saying that stays there. Okay. And what else? In case someone wants to have cold water instead of a beverage, beverages can be hot or cold. Our friend Raymond went through and read out iced Milo, that is cold Milo. You can have it, or you can have hot tea or hot coffee. So that can be served in your saucer cup here. Some people normally wouldn't want to have hot beverages, so they go for cold beverages, and that would include water. All right. And the glass of water always is placed directly above the knife. Okay, so that is where a glass of water is supposed to be placed. Okay, so can you see that? Do you think you're going to be able to practice it? Yes. Right? Good. And finally, I have my bowl of flowers. I have a purpose for it. I want to show you something. Every time when there's a table setting, for today I have a bowl of flowers. You don't always have to have flowers. You can use other things. Place it. It should be sitting in the middle of the table. All right. So we've placed it that way, and it is flowers today. Sometimes you can have, if it's going to be dinner, it can be candles. Candles can be either short candles or tall candles. You can have little twigs. What else can you have to place as your table decoration? Anyone? Can you have other things apart from flowers and candles? Fruits, a basket of fruits. And these fruits you can have towards the end of your meal. Okay, so it can be placed there in the middle of the table. Okay, so you can even have your sugar, your, is it marmalade? No? Pickles. Sugar and whatever. Your snacks or your bread, which could be placed here, can be there. So what I was trying to say earlier on, this is, we said, a bread plate. It's not really necessary to have a bread plate. Okay, so students out in the receiving schools, it is not necessary to have a bread plate because you can always use the dinner plate to place your bread, pasted bread and your eggs. So after you've eaten your cereal, that can be removed. You have your eggs, and your biscuits, and maybe your slices of bread can be placed there. So this is not necessary. Even your salad bowl, if that is not going to be, no salad will be eaten, there's no need for that. Okay, so you don't need your salad fork and your, salad fork. Alright. Every time when there's a table placed, we always eat from the, from the outside in. So maybe I can make my cup of coffee, then I don't need a spoon anymore, so it can be placed away. If there's for my salad, that is eaten before the main dish. So after my salad is eaten, I can place this away. Alright, then I come towards the dinner plate now. Then maybe I can place my bread there, or it can already be placed on the dinner plate. So what I do, I just paste it, maybe remove the shells from the egg, place it on my bread, and for neatness purpose, we can always use a fork to cut our egg and place it on our bread. Okay, so we always eat from the outside in. Any questions to ask about how the table's been set before we can move on?
You've all seen what Ms. Kagemi has done. She's shown you how tables should be set, especially for breakfast. If you need to ask a question, I'll give time for 2 questions to ask Ms. Kagemi. 2 questions only.
If you don't have the utensils, do you still have to
Maybe while you're thinking, just one important thing about the flowers I've set there. When you're eating, you have someone that is sitting opposite you as you're eating. So I've made as much as possible the flowers to be lower, shorter, so I can look at my friend as I am eating. We wouldn't want these flowers here to be distracting, so you are leaning over to see your friend. So whatever decoration you have, it must always be low, so you are in view of your friend all the time.
Few questions to ask Mrs. Kageni before you go out to do what you have just seen Mrs. Kageni demonstrate. Okay, let's see if I can help them. Receiving school students and teachers, we have just seen Mrs. Kageni demonstrate to us how table is set, especially for breakfast. Now, you've just heard me earlier letting you know that in the villages, you don't have to do something like this all the time. But this is very necessary, especially for both boys and girls too. If you are thinking of working in hotels, in restaurants and all that, you have to know how to set tables. So in future, if you end up with a profession as being a person working in the hotels, you are able to set tables for breakfast. We've just seen Mrs. Kageni done a demonstration, and we will be going out, and the students in the media class will be actually practicing what they have seen Mrs. Kageni demonstrate. And before we all go out, I will have Aloysia to thank Mrs. Kageni. Mrs. Kageni, you already know her from the previous lesson we had there. She's a lecturer. She has a very busy schedule, but she had to give up her time to help to educate you. She's a teacher too. She educates students who are much older than you, and she's always happy to come around to share what knowledge she has, that she teaches the students who are older than you together with you. So I will have Aloysia to thank Mrs. Kageni on behalf of the students here and the receiving schools students. Now, before Aloysia comes up, students in the receiving schools, if you have a look at the table, you will see this is what we have done in the previous lesson, especially the pawpaw pickles. You've seen we've done one on the lemon drinks, and we also did on pawpaw pickles. And your friends, this is what your friends have done, and they will be using that together for their breakfast, part of their breakfast table setting. And I will have Aloysia, please.
Ms. Kageni, on behalf of 7C and the receiving school students and teachers, thank you for coming and demonstrating to us how to set a table for breakfast. Thank you.
You're welcome. It was a pleasure to be with you again today in class, and to especially demonstrate to you how to do table setting for breakfast. And goodbye, and I hope I will be asked to come again for another class with you. So thank you very much, class, students and teachers of the receiving schools.
Students, you are going to go outside. You have your tables all set outside. So whatever you have brought, you have been told in a previous lesson that what ingredients to bring and equipment to bring. So you go outside, you get into your groups, and you have a table for your group. I'd like you, what you have brought, your ingredients and equipment, try to set your table the way you have seen Mrs. Kageni done earlier. And you have chairs there. You are to sit around your chairs and have what you have brought. Now, teachers in the receiving schools, this is an assessment task, table setting. I'd like you to just observe what your students are doing, especially their table manners, how they are sitting down, how they're eating, and also just try to see not as much as what we have just seen a table setting, but at least whatever the students try to bring, they should try to do something of what they have just seen demonstrated. And with that, good morning, class, the receiving school students and teachers.
Good morning, Mrs. Patagas, and thank you for your lesson.
Receiving school students, you've just seen us inside the class, inside the cookery house with Mrs. Kageni. We are outside now where your friends here at the model school, the model class, they are outside now, and they're setting their tables up, trying to see whether they are able to do what they've seen Mrs. Kageni demonstrate. So if you look around, you will see we have about 6 tables, and all your friends are all sitting around the tables, trying to get their tables set and to have what they have brought with them. So you can do the same. If you don't have enough space in your classrooms, you can use whatever space you have outside under the shade and have what you brought with you.
Receiving schools, here's your reference for the next lesson: strength, substrength, outcome, topic, materials, and reference.